So the Sony ECM-W2BT. Let me just say that right off the bat, I love microphones. I love any and all microphones, and I've got quite a few of them. 1 mic, 2 mic, Rode mic, Blue mic, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses. But generally, anything that records my voice, yeah, I'm pretty much in love with. And then comes along the ECM-W2BT, and I kind of feel like it's broken my heart. So let's talk about the great things about it, let's talk about the not so great things about it, and then let me tell you who I think this mic is really intended for. Spoiler alert, it's probably not me. But before we get into today's video, I want to know what wireless system you are using for your videos. With the myriad of choices out there, there are lots of different options that you could be going with. So let us all know down in the comments below. So the ECM-W2BT, aside from having a really bad name, is a really cool concept. It's a Bluetooth wireless microphone made by Sony, designed specifically for Sony cameras. So if you have a compatible Sony camera, you can plug the receiver into your hot shoe and it will transmit a digital audio signal via the multi-interface connection, which means that you do not need to have any cables going from the receiver into your camera. But that's not to say that the system doesn't work with other cameras, because it does have a 3.5mm analog out option too. So you can plug it into a standard mic jack and still transmit audio that way. Both the receiver and the transmitter, when they're outside, are dust resistant and moisture resistant. What's also cool is that the receiver has a built-in microphone. So aside from having the transmitter with the microphone, the receiver also has a microphone on the backside. So like, say in an interview situation, you could have your talent mic'd up with the transmitter and you could be behind the camera asking questions or narrating and still get really clean audio. And there are a couple different modes. So you can record just this transmitter, or you can record just the receiver mic, or you can mix them both together and record both at the same time. So on paper, this sounds like super awesome, especially if you're a Sony camera owner. If you have a Sony camera, you just plug in the receiver. There are only 3 different settings on the transmitter, a 0 dB, a -10 dB, and a -20 dB, and you don't have to set any audio levels in your Sony camera. Apparently, the digital connection via the MI has a preset level to it. But what are the downfalls? Well, hopefully by now you've already determined that. And the biggest deal breaker for me is the audio quality. Now, through all of Sony's documentation, they claim crystal clear digital audio. But in all of the testing that I've done, there is an extremely loud hiss through all of my recordings. That's using both the digital MI interface with my Sony ZV-E10, which you're hearing right now. It's also present in other cameras that I've used with the analog output. Here we are recording on my Canon T7i or even my GoPro Hero 8 with the audio adapter. And to take it one step further, I even tried it with my Zoom H6 recorder. And this is what the Sony ECM-W2BT sounds like plugged into my Zoom H6 recorder. And just for comparison reasons, here it is with another wireless solution using the same exact cable, albeit I went from a gain setting of 8 to a gain setting of 3 for this particular recording. And in every scenario, there is this extremely loud background noise, this white noise, this hiss. You can probably hear it right now. The other deal breaker for me is the lack of control with regards to audio levels, specifically in camera. So yes, for the content creator who does not have a background in audio, it's great because you just plug in the receiver, turn on the mic, and you're good to go. But for some of us who want a little bit more fine control, not being able to adjust your levels in camera and just relying on this 10 dB, 20 dB pad on the microphone can be seriously limiting depending on the situation and environment that you're recording in. And I really, really hope that Sony could fix this in a firmware update, whether that be for their cameras or the mics themselves, because it seems like Sony is crippling the overall functionality to cater to a specific group of users for this product. So who might that be? Well, it's you. Content creators who might not have a huge background or knowledge of audio. And you can tell this by all of their marketing for this specific product, right? They leaned heavily into a vlogger style setup, something that you can use on the go, that was designed to be used outdoors, where you don't have to worry about your audio levels, you can just plug it in and go. Now, to be fair, I'm recording this video in my acoustically treated space that I record my professional voiceovers in. So there are no reflections in this environment and all kind of ambient sound and noise gets absorbed. which means that when I do microphone tests, you can really hear the nuances and details of the equipment themselves. So if a microphone sounds great, it will sound amazing in the space. But if a mic doesn't really sound all that good, it will be that much more noticeable. So because Sony markets this for vloggers and for outdoor use, let's take a trip outside and see how it performs under those conditions. We're outside and we're gonna give it a test to see if it sounds better just out in the elements. Today is a little bit of a rainy, cold day, but here I am in my backyard, and aside from being outside, we're going to test the range on this bad boy too while we're out here. So it'll be a good indication of what the wind noise sounds like. I have the wind muff on the microphone, and so you'll be able to hear that. I'm gonna walk with my back to the camera so you can hear what it sounds like. I do have it set to an attenuation of -10 dB, which is what Sony recommends for voices. So, all right, let's take a walk up my hill. Here we go. Okay, we're going up. Yes, in case you didn't know, I do like the color red. Man, you can't tell from the video, but my backyard's a pretty steep incline, which makes it great for sledding, but really awful for everything else. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh man. We can make it, we can make it. We can make it. We can make it. Yeah, I almost crashed in this tree. That wouldn't have been good. So there you go. That's the test of the outdoor capabilities of the Sony ECM-W2BT and the range. So do I think that the Sony ECM-W2BT is right for you? Well, it may be dependent on a couple of factors. One, do you have a compatible Sony camera? Because if you're looking for ease of use and ease of setup and a clean, streamlined interface, yeah, a Sony compatible camera will give that to you. Two, how important to you is audio quality? Now, when it comes to choosing a microphone, there are lots of different reasons to go with certain brands or models or styles or types, all dependent on your personal voice, your personal environment, the channel that you have, the kind of videos that you shoot. And so if you're looking for something that could get a little dusty or a little wet, that is easy to set up and doesn't leave ports open on your camera, and if you're shooting in less than ideal recording environments in the first place, where a little bit of background noise or inherent noise or hiss isn't a big deal, then this microphone might be for you. In fact, if you use music in every single one of your videos, most people that watch and listen to your videos won't even notice the inherent noise that the mic has. Now, could you use a denoiser or a hiss reduction in post-processing? Yeah, you could. But if this product is geared toward vloggers and specifically a group of demographics that might have a limited knowledge of audio, post-processing is not something that everyone does or needs to do. And I guess the third thing is, what are you willing to compromise on when it comes to this wireless setup? Or really any microphone setup for that matter. I mean, personally, when this microphone goes for like $200, I think there are options out there in that budget range that produce a much clearer signal. But if you're looking for the convenience of having a Sony product that integrates with your Sony camera, then yeah, this is going to be it. But this is just my personal experience with this specific microphone. If you have one and a Sony camera and you have a different experience, let us know in the comments below, because my use case might be different from your specific use case. And these videos are designed to be helpful to the content creation community at large. So sharing your experiences potentially will help someone else. So leave a comment with your thoughts down below, and we'll talk again real soon.